Hi everyone. It's Matt here in 2018, and you haven't been getting any 98 movies. And if you're a stickler for the theme, I know that makes you angry, just like it makes me angry. But life's been super busy. I have a backlog of all the episodes that I did before I was able to do when I got Joel. So I've just been putting out the best of those. And I hope that you don't mind because we're just getting things together where we can do it on the computer and stuff. And as well, we're going to start a basketball podcast. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Joel and Rafat. So with that in mind, here is the movie Liar Liar with Dan Perlman and Zach Swan. And I recorded this like about a year ago, but it's really funny. It's a lot of fun. And here's a great note. I lost some of my audio, so I went back in and recorded my own laughs, and then I recorded what I said for like the first 17 minutes. So, um, there's like a version out there where like one of them makes a bad joke, or like it's not even a joke, right? But I'm like, ha 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 ha, and it just worked really funny. So here's the episode. Please enjoy the episode. Me and Joel will be back soon. Thank you for listening to the 20-year-old movie podcast. Here's Liar Liar, 21 years old. Here we go. This week I have on Dan Perlman.
Hi.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know. It took a long enough pause that I was like, I guess he's
You're
waiting
gonna
for me
say
to
hey?
jump
I was
in.
like,
Yeah.
now's your chance.
This might be the last chance.
This is it.
To get a word in.
Yeah,
Where Zach just
watch out.
hogs the whole fucking thing.
I'm a motor mouth.
Old motor mouth, Zach Swan. Give it up for Zach. Hey, Zach, you said this was your favorite movie growing up?
Oh yeah, growing up, that was like, I had a best friend. I would sleep over at his house every other weekend. Then he would sleep over to my house the other weekends.
What was his name?
Jake?
Oh,
His name's Jake
great.
Weber. He's coming to visit in December. I'm very excited.
yeah. We'll have him on the cast.
Yeah, have him on the cast.
Sure. Shout out to Jake.
But yeah, so we used to watch. We had like 4 movies, and it was like Ace Ventura 1 and 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Liar Liar that we would just watch like in rotation. So I've seen that movie. It's like so many times.
Solid lineup.
Zach was like calling a lot of the scenes. Like he was just saying line for line
Yeah, he
what I was
was.
gonna say.
I could have done so much more. I know I'm very annoying to watch the movie. I could have like said the
No,
whole movie.
it was
I know
fun.
that boardroom scene where he's just like doing the roast insults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simmons is old. He should have quit years ago, but he can't go home because he hates his wife. I love that. That's
Yeah,
so
you were like the Babe Ruth of calling movie
He's
quotes.
just calling a shot. Yeah, he's pointing to where Liar Liar is airing on TNT.
Oh yeah, I'm part of. Yeah, I'm on the spectrum.
Yeah, no, I probably watched that like 20, 30, 50 times also as a kid.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it at least 10 times.
I had it on VHS. I watched it a lot. Yeah.
Ooh, watching it on tape, VCR. I think it was one of the first. I think I'm saying that because I think it was one of the first DVDs I had. Was
Really?
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great DVD to have. Jim Carrey.
No, yeah, he was just like the funniest guy, right there. I mean, we were just talking about how it's like, one of you was out of the room, but it's just the whole movie's just like a vehicle for just him to be funny, you know, like everyone else is just kind of more or less in the way and just like lobbing it up to him.
Right.
Because he's like the funniest shit. Like Zach was saying, it's like just him solo, you know, like he's working the pen and drawing it on his face and stuff. Yeah, like nobody else is remotely funny. Nobody else has really any defining features except.
Yeah, until the very last scene where that lady crushes him, calling him an overactor.
Yeah. That's the only moment where anybody else is even slightly entertaining.
Yeah, not even part of the movie.
When he's off the screen, like you literally just shut off. Like the scene where like Jerry's trying to do the claw at the Max, you're like, what's going on here? Back to
Yeah, it's the scene you're supposed to realize like how wrong it is that she would be with him because it's like 5 seconds we're not looking at Jim
Yeah,
Carrey.
you're like,
You're like,
something's
what?
on.
This is weird.
Something's wrong here.
I can't go to
like
Boston.
the dynamic change.
There's no Jim Carrey.
Bringing back that guy who flops around. It's so funny. No, I think actually one guy that makes me laugh outside the movie is the dude who's like, just because his face staring at Jim Carrey when he's like, "You scratched my car," and he's like, "Where?" Then he's just
Oh, the
like,
mechanic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the one joke that's not by Jim Carrey.
They probably were about to cut it.
Yeah, they're probably like, "This, he's trying to steal the spotlight."
It's in his contract.
Can't do
Nobody
it.
else can be anywhere close to amusing.
So, what would you say your favorite Jim Carrey movie is?
I don't think as a kid, it definitely as a kid this one made me laugh more than Ace Ventura, more than whatever the Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and
Like I think it made me laugh the most. I think I probably like some of the other ones that I feel like better movies. I feel like Truman Show is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah,
That's still
Yeah.
what I would say.
You like
is my
Eternal
favorite.
Sunshine?
Yeah, that one's awesome
I
too.
like that one.
But still, like Jim Carrey, like I remember as a kid watching the Truman Show and thinking, "Oh, this is so great! It's so funny." And then watching it a couple years ago and being like, "Oh, this is like really dark."
Yeah,
But
oh, man.
I mean, it's still great, but it is not funny at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing funny about it.
Did you ever have the paranoia with that, like that might be happening to you when you first watched?
Maybe a little bit.
No, but I've heard that's a did you feel that?
Yeah, a
When
little
we're all
bit. I was
pulling the
like,
strings.
this feels fake now. And then you're like, no one cares about you. They did not. Nobody's watching you.
That movie's great. Oh, I can't when it's been 20 years since the Truman Show. Let's fire up that one.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think it's next year.
Oh,
That
that
was
was the next
98?
year. Wow. He
Really?
went from Liar, Liar to Truman Show. Wow. He's
Mhm.
really.
And then he did Man on the Moon in '99.
Yes, that's another great one. Yeah.
And he won a Golden Globe for
That's
both
great.
of those.
Was he ever nominated for an Oscar for
No.
anything?
Dan was talking about earlier, though, that he does this mental visualization trick.
Does this thing Jim Carrey does this thing called visualization where he just talks in interviews about it's like he doesn't have it, but he's like, so I've won an Oscar. I mean, I haven't won one, but I'm holding it in my hand right now.
Right.
I know it. I can feel it. I'm
Yeah.
looking right at it.
It's like the
And so-
secret.
Right. So he does that
Mhm.
with like, and he's like in my house, like I'm lying down, and I know I'm lying on a bed. I might not be actually on a bed, but it doesn't matter because I feel the bed, so it's there.
You know, it's the same way
Weird.
Trump became president. He does the same method. Just
What
the secret.
You just visualize.
He just said, I will be the president. And then it happened somehow, magically.
This movie wasn't always going to be about a lawyer. It was just going to be centered around a lie, and it
Wait.
could have been a politician or a salesman.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter what this movie's about. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, do we gotta describe what it is?
Well, I was just going to kind of have you guys do your 3 memorable scenes, and that would kind of cover it. And then
Okay, yeah.
we'd kind of just assume that people listening to this podcast have already seen Liar Liar.
Of course,
They
certainly
probably are.
fans
seen Liar,
of the
Liar.
movie. That's
Yeah.
a great point.
And who hasn't seen Liar, Liar?
Exactly.
Wait, you say your 3 favorite scenes?
My three, one of my,
But wait, before we start, how would you summarize this movie to a person that's never seen it before?
I would say like Jim Carrey can't lie. He's a lawyer. He can't lie for 24 hours. So it's funny to watch him forced to be told the truth. And then he gets slapped in the face a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's also it's a lot of Jim Carrey shouting the truth. So for some reason, not being able to lie also impacts volume control. He can't just not lie. He also can't whisper
Well,
anymore.
he's just never been able to whisper. That's just
true.
That's not a curse. That's like his lifelong curse. Like,
Yeah. It's because of your huge jugs. It's just- I don't know. You can still say it.
he doesn't figure out the loophole till he beats himself up in the bathroom. You know, then you're like, wait, so kind of you can falsify, like you can appear,
A little bit.
you can lead people
A
on.
little.
All right, let's do it. What are your 3 favorite scenes, starting with Zach? Go.
I think one of my favorites is when he goes to pick up the car from being impounded, and like they charge him $1,100, and he's like, "How do you sleep at night?" And he grabs the air freshener, and he's like, and "I'm taking this." That's so funny to me. Oh man, I love that part. Another part is when he's meeting the guy who's the wife cheated on with when he's meeting that guy who, by the way, he makes me exude hatred like no other. That guy, I hate that guy for whatever reason. He's playing a bad guy, so I guess you could argue he's doing a good job.
Bad guy face.
But when he goes, "How you doing?" He's like, "I've slipped into the seventh circle of hell." I always remember that.
That's a good line.
I always remember that. And then probably the third part I mentioned at the beginning of the movie, but it was at the end. I was kind of not paying attention. But when he like becomes a good guy and he runs out in the courtroom and the old homeless man is there, like all super disheveled, by the way.
The dirtiest homeless man maybe in movie history.
I'm trying to think of a dirtier one. I don't think I can. Maybe Steve Buscemi in Big Daddy. He was pretty dirty. You remember that one?
Yeah, I
his
do
hair
remember
was
Big Daddy.
insane.
I loved Big Daddy.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, was this guy in blackface?
That's what. Yeah, when it starts,
Steve
Matt was
Buscemi?
like, "Is he this homeless guy?" It looked like it was supposed to be a black guy, and then you look, it's like, is he in blackface? Is that like a random statement this movie is making?
He's just covered
unrelated
in soot.
to anything.
No. Then he throws the money. He's like, "Here, take it all," but it's not going to make you happy. I like that. I think those are the three.
That pen scene, for whatever reason, that's the one that sticks out that I would remember the most as a kid when he's trying to lie and just writing on the pen. He's just like, "The goddamn pen is blue." That's if I had to pick one line. If you just tell me that, I just always will remember. It's that's the one that really stands out. Some of it I'd forgotten completely. I totally forgot the whole plane climax when he is going to try to stop his son from flying away, and he hijacks the. just kind of derails a flight. He's like insanity.
Yeah, it's like a pre 9/11 airport.
That's a whole category of movie. It's the pre 9/11 airport scenes.
Like if he did that today, he'd be in Guantanamo Bay. You know? He'd be being held for an undisclosed amount of time.
I still wouldn't be able to lie.
Hey.
Okay, so we were talking about the airports. You wanted to talk about a sequel theory, Dan?
I was just saying it would be fun because obviously we can't overlook the influence that Jim Carrey lying all the time is going to have on his son.
That's true.
You can already see the psychological damage with his choice of haircut. So
yeah.
So
wow, roasting the child.
A sequel.
It makes him look like a dog, doesn't it? From behind,
it really does.
He looked like one of those fancy dogs with like a poodle with long hair.
Best in Show, sure.
Yeah, it was weird.
I
hate that haircut.
This was really
draped in bangs.
The story of an ugly child. So
who grew up to be a really intimidating adult.
Everyone, I encourage the folks at home to look up what that kid looks like now. His name was Max, the character's name in Liar Liar. I forget the actor's name, but he's just like a tough looking dude. Like
he looked like he took meth.
He looked like he took meth. So but it would be fun to do a sequel where now we see is he lying as a fully grown man.
He's made the same mistake his father had.
Right. And Jim Carrey, now he's older, right? So we could see if his character is maybe more truthful with time.
Cats in the Cradle. I'm picturing a very old, wise Jim Carrey that like he comes to in need and he's like, "Son, you got to figure it out on your own. I'll curse you now."
Right.
Reverse curse.
Reverse curse, yes. That seems fun. So that's just good because, Hollywood likes that.
But these days,
good sequel follow-up.
Sequel.
Franchise it.
You know, people are having kids a lot less these days, and that's really the only reason he shouldn't have lied. You know what I mean? Like without the kid there, it's like, sure, lie. Nobody cares.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he really just could have gone to his birthday. Yeah, we're also it's a very modest request this kid has. He's like, I wish for one day. You know, that's where a kid likes to be like for a million years. I wish
I was gonna say he could have wished for any amount.
More
of time.
childlike, but he's just like a single day. Something that could really fit an elevator pitch.
First of all, he could have wished for more wishes. You know, that was his first mistake. This should be the move. This movie should be called "The Idiot Kid Who had a dumb wish and a bad haircut."
The idiot kid. They're like, well, we cast Jim Carrey. It's like, but we kind of went another way.
And the second one, the second year, after finding out that the wish will come true, like he has the power, he wishes for rollerblades.
Yeah, what a
God, that
fucking
kid is
stupid.
Wish for money. You could buy so many rollerblades with $1 million.
That would be fun. Yeah, that's what they should do.
The psychological damage though to that kid though, knowing that every single wish will come true, like those are going to be some turbulent, years. 14-year-old kid. Like I wish this kid would be dead.
Plus, every time he gets on a plane, he sees his dad's pummeled face coming right up to the window. It's freaking him out.
Yeah, it's it's a lot of it's weird. There's the bad guy in the movie, I guess, is supposed to be the
judge.
The judge? Is it the boyfriend?
No, it's
the boyfriend is supposed to be the bad character, and he's just like exclusively a nice guy. I guess it's like his own client, right? The woman who he helps get the money, for that he then realizes that she's a bad mom. I guess
I think it's like the whole culture, because like the guy shakes his hand and then he's like, no, and he like pulls it away.
Right, he pulls it away. And they throw him in jail, and there's not. I don't know. That's fun. That's funny that they said they were thinking about having it not be a lawyer. It really didn't matter,
Yeah,
It could have been. It could have been a politician. It could have been whatever, a cop. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Could have been running an ice cream store. Who gives a shit?
The cop needs to lie about seeing some super traumatic shit.
Working at a gym. I don't know. Like, you wash down those machines? No, I didn't wash them down.
I haven't washed them down in weeks.
I use the towels myself.
I piss in the drinking fountain.
That's so funny. It just says character just hopping from job to job.
I would watch a bunch of Jim Carrey remakes of him just doing different jobs.
Just like he's working at a pizzeria. The garlic nuts are for me.
He lost his ability to practice law because of erratic behavior in the courtroom, and now he's
just like spinning dough on his finger.
I didn't wash my hands after you in the bathroom.
Employees must wash hands, but I didn't. I must take down this sign.
He's just got to be screaming it.
He's always screaming it. I don't know. He's like the funniest person.
I think lawyer was like the golden profession for them. The courtroom dynamic was so funny when the judge is like asking the questions. He's just like, no.
Yeah. You have a single reason for that.
There was at one point the script was tailored at Disney for Goldie Hawn. Would you guys have liked this movie as much if it was Goldie Hawn?
Instead of Jim Carrey?
Yeah, instead of Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking that.
Another one is Steve Martin.
He leaned over to me during the movie and he's like, what if it was Goldie Hawn? What if Han got involved?
There's just a lot of lines. There's just a lot of like scenes of physical comedy where it's like, the lady from Private Benjamin would really knock that out better.
I can't even picture Goldie Hawn right now. I'm not.
That's so funny because Jim Carrey was just like, he's like one of the biggest comedy stars at the time, Like he already did Ace Ventura. He already did Dumb and Dumber. Like he did all these movies, and they're like, we could get Jim Carrey. I'm like, I think this is a Goldie one.
I wrote this specifically for Goldie. No Jim Carrey.
I named the character Goldie. You can't just erase.
That would be great if like it was named.
They didn't rename it.
It's like I'm having a hard time remembering Jim Carrey's name. Fletcher, I guess. That's
Fletcher, yeah.
Fletcher. They just named it after the main. That's got to be some movies, right? Where the main character. That's sitcoms. Sitcoms.
His kid's like, I just wish for one day my dad, Goldie Hawn, couldn't tell a lie.
Goldie
The screenwriter makes him keep it.
It's like, we typed it. I don't know. It's already on the call sheet. It's like it makes a whole mess if we change it.
We're gonna do one reading with Goldie, and we're gonna do another with that pet detective guy. Who's he?
We have to. Let's just get it over with. Let's just knock it out real quick. Steve Martin was the other one you said?
Yeah, Steve Martin.
Well, he would have been great.
Yeah.
Steve Martin can do whatever. But I mean, it's like...
it's tough to imagine at this point.
I mean, just like all those movies Jim Carrey did at that time, they were just such vehicles just for him to be funny and everybody to kind of get out of the way. that it's just weird to imagine anybody else saying a word.
Who could pull off that sort of magic? You know what I mean? Like, there's not the lie, the ability for him not to lie isn't anywhere visible or tangible. It's just him being like, they're like, okay, there's a curse on you and you can't lie.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
incredible to me.
I think like
Because-
maybe Naked Gun guy, Leslie Nielsen.
yeah.
He would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, because it's just like there's not that many stakes in this whole thing. It's like, oh, what if he loses this divorce trial that he doesn't care about, that no one really cares about?
Yeah.
Like, we don't care about the people involved.
Right.
Like, it's like doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could just lose this thing, and it just like, would not make a difference at all.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it is just him carrying the whole thing because I don't know,
All the heavy lifting.
Yeah. It's
the
funny.
heavy lifting.
You guys pointed out earlier too. It was like totally like the lowest level case. Like there was no reason for there to be like a big audience.
There's a packed audience of
Yeah.
people just watching the trial and gasping at various points.
Yeah, it was like the
It's-
OJ trial.
It's just like a routine divorce trial of non-celebrities.
Is this leopard print woman going to get the money from her rich husband? I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Did she cheat on him once or 7 times? 7. That was the second option.
That's it. It's really a movie about the unfair laws of divorce in this country.
That's true.
The 50-50 split, that ain't how the world is anymore.
Yeah, what is it, Zach?
Well, no, it's still like that in
I
California.
mean that's the world doesn't reflect the law. The law is still, alimony and 50% and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
I was just trying to make a bad joke, like women, like if a woman was here, she would hate that. I'd be like, women shouldn't be getting so much money from these
Yeah.
men.
Oh, yes. That's
That
the
kind of
main
thing.
idea.
Yeah.
When the main injustice Jim
Yeah,
Carrey
that-
realized. He's like, wait, you can't give that lady
Yeah.
all this money.
That's the
Yeah.
real moral.
He's a good
of the
dad.
movie. Yeah. She didn't earn it. What does she deserve? She lived
He's
off
like-
his money for years.
She's like angrily lifting up the kids. She's like, Lupe, take them.
Yeah.
Lupe.
Yeah,
yelling
they
at
don't really talk about what happens to those kids either. Those kids went off and had a horrible life with
I
a
mean,
mother that doesn't love
I
them.
mean, we kind of don't know what happens with
Well, Lupe
anybody.
cares about them. Lupe is the diversity in that movie, by the way.
Snuck it in the back of one woman's head. One line where she's being barked at by one of the villains.
Yeah.
That's a whole different movie.
that
That's
was
the
the mix of
spin-off. Lupe trying to raise those kids in that crazy
living
household.
like Lupe.
We've got a lot of sequels going. We got a
Yeah.
lot of
This thing
sticks
is
in the
really
fire.
A lot of, it's
Golden.
it's
is
just a
cash
tree
cow.
branch out
Yeah.
into 100 different.
Yeah. We could have our
100
own
different directions.
sequels company think tank.
Hey, they did Evan Almighty. That was
Right.
that was as much of a tangent as what we're pitching.
Right.
What if Goldie Hawn was Ace Ventura? Goldie Hawn was Ace Ventura.
Goldie Hawn as Lupe. You know she was originally Lupe.
She was Lupe the first time around.
in the first script. Yeah. It demanded a reshoot.
It's funny. Jim Carrey, he during the time he had to decline a very popular role. They might know Dr. Evil. He had to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Oh.
declined Austin Powers to
Wait,
do this
All
movie.
all the roles, or just Dr. Evil?
Just Dr. Evil. Mike Myers ended up playing it himself, but he was being considered as Dr. Evil at the time.
Dude, that was another one of my favorite comedies growing up. So I'm like super thankful that he did Liar Liar, and then because Mike Myers is Dr. Evil. Come on, you can't.
Right.
Well, yeah. Also, why? Yeah, I mean, why would Jim Carrey be like a sidekick? You know, he's the main guy.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I would have turned that down too. If I were Jim Carrey,
He's
yeah,
well,
yeah,
he
fuck
always,
off.
Get out of here.
he sensed his opportunity to snatch it from Goldie, and he had to pounce.
Mike, I can't work with you. I got to take Goldie Hawn's part.
She's waving it in my face. I'm gonna grab it out of her hand.
It says Goldie in the script. They never really do say if it's a man or a woman.
Because it's just weird to think how things could have gone. Because then, if say Goldie Hawn had played Liar Liar, then Jim Carrey would have gone on to play Amy Schumer's mom
That's
in
true.
that movie
In
this summer.
Train wreck. Oh no, that one where they get
it's
kidnapped.
like- I don't know. They're like on a beach.
I never saw that one.
Untitled
I
beach.
I saw a trailer for it. I don't know.
I think they get kidnapped in that movie. I think that's part of the plot.
Oh yeah. We'll fire it up in 20 years.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
Yeah, it's coming along.
Put it in your calendar.
Okay, so this was directed by Tom Shadyac. No, that's not how you say that, but Shadyac.
I love his work.
Huge Chad Yak head.
Shadyac had
Never miss a shot.
That's hilarious.
The yak.
Um,
I call him.
Jim Carrey and Shadyac.
Yeah.
Boy, they did 3 movies together: Ace Ventura,
Yeah.
this movie,
Yeah.
and Bruce Almighty. So this is the second out of the 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or
You can-
Pet Detective.
You
Sorry,
can
this is
see
both.
their
first one?
chemistry
Let's see.
growing on camera and
Yeah.
off.
Mm.
You know,
For sure.
I can imagine.
They were quoted as saying like they thought that Liar Liar was grounding their comedy work. They thought that this was a grounding movie comparatively to
This is kind of the first movie he did where there's any sort of. I mean, the emotion is like pretty thin, but there is some in it.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
none of that in Ace Ventura.
There's none of that in The Mask. There's none of that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Dumb and Dumber.
So it's still like pretty much all Jim Carrey doing like physical comedy and just delivering shit funny. But there's some scene where you're like, hey, that was like good acting when he's some emotion about his kid going
definitely.
away
away
There was
forever.
moments.
So
Or was
yeah,
it just because he was married? This is the first movie where he was married. That's why it's
he's
good.
married, he's a dad,
He's got a kid.
Yeah.
right? And you know he's like really laying on the dad stuff. He's like, kiddo.
Yeah, he's like great dynamic between him and his son.
Yeah.
I don't think my dad ever did that. My dad, he never
He
messed.
never-
He never messed with me.
Dads hated this movie.
His version of messing me was leaving me with a terrible babysitter.
Lupe.
Lupe wasn't paying attention. I was eating rocks. I was outside eating rocks one time when they came home. And then my dad was like, "Gotcha." He wasn't like putting presents up his shirt.
It is a very like it's like just a caricature of a dad. Like if you
Right.
read a dad in a sketch.
It makes you feel like it makes you be like, "Oh, he's so cute." I don't know. Are you not enchanted by it at all?
By the kid or
By the Jim Carrey
or
as a
their
dad?
whole
he
dynamic.
felt like my dad.
He felt like your
Really?
dad, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what your
like-
dad was like?
Well, no. I
That's
mean, like
sweet.
when we fired up the movie, like the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
scene where he's like, "Hope it wasn't wearing neutral gain colors. It had a
Right.
buster cap."
Right.
Like that whole scene, like I was just like, "Oh, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
cool dad.
Oh, yeah, you
this is
missed
my
that.
cool
Yeah,
dad."
you missed that. There's a weird thing where he's doing like black voice up front.
No, I missed that. Yeah, I forgot about
What
that.
is it? He's like, because I got my mind on my money. And, and the kid's,
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
kid's
the
like,
first time
Dad,
I-
you're the best.
Yeah.
I remember that now because I had never heard the Snoop Dogg song.
yeah.
Rolling down. That's right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Gin and Juice. I never heard that song, so I thought like he took that from Jim Carrey. I didn't know the timeline. On that. I was like, hey, just like Liar Liar.
Yeah. Rap was really heavily influenced by mid 90s Jim
White
Carrey
comedies
comedies.
by all white comedies.
Yeah.
Well, Jim Carrey was on In Living Color. There you go. There's your connection.
That's true. Yeah.
I've heard of
A lot
people-
of Kendrick stuff stems from Ben Stiller.
Meet the Parents.
Yeah. It's mostly Meet the Fockers related.
When Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand are on screen together.
Oh,
Wow,
Babs.
Sparks.
Oh, my
Babs.
God.
yeah, she's great.
Oof, good chemistry. I've heard of people like seeing like Weird Al and being like, "Oh, Michael Jackson stole that from Weird Al."
Yeah.
It's Weird Al's. Okay, so I want to talk about the director. Okay, so this Tom Shadyac,
Shattuck.
he was the youngest joke writer ever for Bob Hope. So that's like where he got his chops. And
How old was he? Like 48? That's what if he's like youngest, but he's still like he's very old.
Everybody writing for Bob Hope is 95 years
Yeah,
old.
that's what I'm picturing a bunch of very
He's
old
like,
people.
he's like, he's like still a grandfather.
Yeah. It's like being the tallest munchkin in Munchkin.
All right, kid.
writer's room, wheelchair accessible.
It's like,
The young buck. He just joined the AARP.
yeah. He's like a writer he wrote for Carson. He's like, yeah, we were all Jack Parr folks. Like, I bet you never even saw the Steve Allen show. It's like old time radio guys. So wait, that guy wrote for Bob Hope?
Yeah, Yeah, that's where he started. That's like I want to give you like how his career started, and
Fuck, what, did Bob Hope ever say anything funny?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just saw his animation on The Simpsons, and when the genie morphs into Bob Hope
Yeah.
in Aladdin. That's the only time when I've seen Robin Williams do an impression of him, and then I've seen him on The Simpsons.
That's so funny. Like Robin Williams, I'm sure was just like riffing all this, and then like a team of animators have to be like,
Turn it into
all right, what did Bob Hope look like?
do the shirt with the triangles on
Just
it.
riff this thing, and now you got like dozens of people trying to draw Bob Hope.
Looking at
Bring it.
pictures.
It's like, what? What do you even wanted? All right. Are you sure?
thank you,
Jesus.
Disney.
He's no kid is gonna understand who this is.
This is for children, right? It's still a kids movie.
Crazy.
Hey, I'm Bob Hope. Yeah.
So this director was known for The Nutty Professor. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, which was
Oh, yeah.
10 years after this movie. And he like so like I wanted to talk about him because he had a concussion in 2007, right?
Oh.
And
Hey, me too. You're concussed, brother.
in 2007,
Oh,
Yeah, I
07?
took a brick to the head in 07. In the spring.
oh, that's terrible.
That felt like a springtime.
Springs are mostly bricks are being thrown around in like March, April. Kind of.
I mean, you don't want to December. It's freezing.
Oh my god, it's too cold.
Yeah.
Bricks. You know.
But you want the flowers blooming and the bricks are flying.
You're leaning over to sniff a flower. That's when it hits you in the back of the head.
Did you notice any side effects after your concussion, Zach?
Yeah, slight memory loss. That's it. That's pretty much it. You know, you're not. They don't let you go to sleep for a few hours.
Okay, that's not so bad. I mean, like he had a pretty bad one. He was hit on a bicycle accident, but
He was riding the bike.
yeah, he was riding the bike in
It's always the
Virginia.
ones you least expect.
Ooh, the guy on the bike.
Oh boy. All
You
right,
never
so
would have thought watching this movie that the director would be in a bike accident
That was.
someday.
I'll tell you, that was at the back of my mind. That was nowhere near the front.
It didn't even occur to me. That's this movie 100 times. I never would have guessed that. It felt like the directing work of a guy who'd be safe as fuck
Yeah,
on
guy-
a bicycle.
Guy who wears a
Seems to
helmet,
say.
stays in the bike lane, doesn't risk it.
Probably walks.
I've got bad
guy's a
news for
walker.
you guys. The
What's
the
up?
judge had the heart attack right after dying. He seemed very healthy.
Heart attack right after dying. Huh?
Right after he died. Heart attack?
Right after filming, he had a heart
Oh,
attack
film.
and he died.
Yeah.
Boy.
But wait, what was happened to the guy who got a bike? Sorry.
Okay, so he had this concussion and he had this epiphany that he wanted to have a simpler lifestyle. So he sold all of his possessions and he started a homeless shelter and he moved to a trailer park.
Whoa.
So he like quit film and he did a documentary in 2010 called I Am.
This is the director?
Yeah, that explores the abandonment of a materialistic lifestyle.
Whoa.
So like,
Did he did so he did a documentary about himself?
This is after his bike accident.
yeah.
And after he did I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
I think that I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry happened in 2007, and then he had the bike accident. And
Damn.
that was the
Then he sold all his possessions?
He sold all his.
That's wild.
He didn't keep anything, even his Chuck and Larry merch.
He kept Chuck, but he threw away the Larry.
liquidize it. I don't need it.
They're a pair. That's the whole thing.
You need them both.
I don't need it.
Fake a gay marriage. Get tax benefits and health benefits.
Yeah.
Boy, that movie aged real quick.
Yeah,
huh?
right?
Yeah. It's like, can you imagine two men marrying?
No, that's crazy. No one will believe that. That's not.
That's a
believable.
comedy. We got to get the two biggest comedy stars to do that. An idea that
Goldie
way.
Hawn and Reese Witherspoon. That's who
And
we
that
need.
Fancy Chuck and Larry was originally a vehicle for Goldie Hawn to play both parts. There's like Coming to America barbershop scene. There's going to be a dozen Goldie Hawns, all gay and ripping off each other.
That's it.
A giant gay wedding of entirely Goldie Hawns.
My big fat gay wedding.
Well, that's nuts that he did that. That was 2010.
Yeah, that was 2010. The documentary.
And he's done nothing since.
Well, I was going to say he started teaching college in the University of Colorado in 2015, and he's just now been attached to a movie project about the California Innocent Project. Like some football player at USC got accused of rape, and he went to jail, and it like it wrecked his football career or something. And he went to jail for like 10 years, and then he got exonerated, and then he made the practice squad. That's what the movie's about.
Basically a Stephen Avery situation.
Who's Stephen Avery?
Guy from Making a Murderer.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it's like
When will he strike again?
So it's like Rudy if Rudy was accused of rape.
Yeah.
It's a triumphant
Overcomes
story.
all odds, makes the football team.
All odds.
Like-
Yes.
That was the original story. That was the
That's
true
funny,
story
that's
of
what-
Rudy. And then they're like, what if he was a janitor
Yeah.
instead of the rape?
that
How about
was-
the janitor?
How about he works at a steel mill?
Yeah. You know, Rudy was originally written for Goldie Hawn.
Pretty nuts. That's what brought the guy back. It's like, sometimes women lie about rape.
We got to expose this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm back.
I got my finger on the pulse of how the public is feeling. We need to. Too many women are lying about assault.
Jesus Christ.
I have a real quote from him.
He goes from Chuck and Larry to
It's made full service.
men are innocent.
I'm telling you, wear a bike helmet, kids. Wear that helmet. Do not give away your possessions. This is a very
What a
material world.
What a commercial for bike helmets.
That's really
is.
what should be a PSA for.
Safety
He had it
first.
all. He was directing comedies with Adam Sandler, Kevin
Han.
James.
Hahn. Yeah, fuck, I forgot his last name. Kevin James, Jim
Boy,
Carrey.
We really felt the brick
And then
hit
he
Zach in
sold,
that
yeah,
movie.
yeah. This is 07 all over.
Spring of 07.
Oh.
And then he gave it all. That makes more sense to me now. And he's like, okay, I got to come back. That makes a lot more sense than him like selling all of his possessions.
Yeah, I got a real quote from him too. But it's he's for the injustice of people of color. Living and teaching in Memphis for the past 4 years has given me an intimate look at the injustice of people of color face every day. Brian's inspiring story is only emblematic of justice and the clarion call against the judicial system in need of urgent reform. So that's his cross that he's taking out.
It's like a movie like this. It's just funny to even like.
Yeah. It's picturing that guy that did Liar Liar
Yeah.
doing this now. You know, it's like he's
Yeah. I guess I don't. And there's just my own ignorance. It's just like it just feels like this is just like an entire like studio vehicle. Like this is all just like we're just gonna let Jim Carrey be funny, and we'll just put as much money and just throw as many people around him.
Yeah.
To just be. It's like so. It's like I don't know what directing choices. You know what I mean? Like like.
I think that in itself is a skill. You're like, I should
Yeah.
do nothing.
I should just get out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a real
Let
artist knows
this-
when they're done.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I
let
mean?
them
You know?
let the choice to roll
Yeah.
when they're like, you know, in some reset time to let Jim Carrey be like wacky and shit.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let him breathe.
I think the
okay?
choice
Now
to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
say action.
Yeah. I think the choice to do a blooper reel, that was his best directorial decision. I wish everyone would
I
choose
mean,
to do a blooper reel. I
it's
think
just
all movies should have.
It's just a little bit of like it's
If
like
taken-
coaching LeBron. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like you can be really good, but
You gotta
also
let 'em be.
you can look pretty good not doing anything.
Now I'm just picturing Eric Spolstra directing this movie with a big megaphone. Jim, we're gonna do it again.
Spolster's actually doing a thing about the Duke lacrosse guys right now.
I was like, is he really?
your eyes wide.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
oh my god. Got him back into movies. His first love.
I'm picturing outtakes on Taken. That would be a pretty good outtakes movie.
That would be great.
The blooper reel. What a choice.
I'm a huge fan. I think that we got to bring those back. They went away.
Yeah, I see them in Jackie Chan movies.
Rush Hour.
Rush
Yeah.
Hour, but yeah,
Rush Hour 2.
there was another one too with like Jennifer Garner. He's the bloopers in that one also.
Dang.
He's big with bloopers because he wants to show. Sometimes I don't always hop the fence. Sometimes I get close.
Fucks up.
Yeah, sometimes he falls down. Yeah,
He's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm a big Jackie Chan.
I,
he's
yeah.
great. He's great.
I read this. I watched this video documentary on YouTube. It's called "Every Frame a Painting." It's a pretty good YouTube channel. But it talks about how in Chinese Jackie Chan
Chinese.
movies,
Chinese.
they always show it and they do the wide shot where he
Yeah.
like has to do the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they talk about the American version, like, we don't have fucking time for you to get the trick right, so we're just gonna punch in. And there's
Yep.
more cuts in an American action, so that's why it's like Jackie Chan movies from over there like always have the wide shot in it.
Yeah, I know. Like Tom Cruise does his own stunts a lot, but I think that's like real rare. Jackie Chan just, he does everything.
Yeah,
He was like directing his own movies too in China, I think.
yeah.
When he went back, he was like doing his own directing, and then he was like, he did everything like the super hard way. Is that nerdy guy voice? He's got like a real nerdy voice, and he's describing Jackie Chan, and he's showing all the film. Is that is like 15 minutes long?
Yeah, he
I
does
think
like
I've seen that.
yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that video.
Dope.
Yeah,
I think I
Yeah.
put you on to he also sang Mulan, the translated version.
Jackie Chan did?
Yeah, he did the men's part.
He also made it was really good, actually, really good movie. It's the Chinese version of I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. And
What is it called?
that's just what it's called.
Okay,
That's the full
it's
title.
Escape from China.
The Chinese version.
It's called Rush Hour 4.
That one is a real. Can you imagine gay marriage in China?
Do they not allow it? Are they against it?
I'm
over
pretty
there?
sure they don't.
Oh, dang.
I should look it up before. I'll edit that out.
Probably true.
Well, tweet at us the answer.
Yeah, at
Tweet us-
China. Let us know the answer.
If you're gay in China, can you get married?
Give us a call. The lines are open.
Yeah, numbers at the bottom of the screen. Toll free. Okay, so let's wind down with general reception, like how
Yeah.
you guys felt about it. I'll talk about a little bit the tomato meter, how much it made money wise.
Oh.
A little bit of Roger Ebes. So do you guys want me to start with the tomato meter and then you guys can give your thoughts?
I'll tell you this. I don't fucking give a shit what those critics thought.
All right, you go first,
Dan
Dan.
has his own
Yeah.
website. It's called the Perlman score. Rotten Tomatoes can go
I knew Zach would come up with a catchy name.
Perlmanscore.com /Perlman.
No, I just feel like like Rotten Tomatoes is like generally worthless when it comes to comedies. Like just usually, I feel like for more serious movies that I might care more what they think.
Sure.
But usually, I feel like there's just a lot of movies I liked as a kid or like enjoy now.
Sure.
That it'll just they'll just insult and it's
Like Happy Gilmore is down there.
Yeah, a lot of I just feel like a lot of movies that we really enjoyed back then. Like if you just look, it'd be like 20%. You know, it's like, well, I don't know. What do you know?
Right.
There's just like a weird standard when it comes to reviewing comedies. That
Okay.
that I feel like. I also feel like people who act in like comedy acting, like they don't get any credit for that. Like somebody who's like a really good comedic actor never gets nominated for anything until unless they play something serious. Even though there's like way fewer people that could have made this movie watchable.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like, but they'd never give him any kind of award. But I think that's way harder.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Totally. 100%.
Than
Daniel
than
Day-Lewis.
Eternal Sunshine, which is like a miles better movie, but a million people could have played that part.
Right. Guy who can pretend to be sad. You know what I
Right.
mean, acting sad as opposed to like
Just
doing a whole
hopping
scene
all
by-
around.
with a
Yeah,
pen.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are like 1,000 actors that could have been just as good in Eternal Sunshine.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
Maybe a couple people that could have made this an okay movie.
Right. And he made it a great movie.
Great movie.
Love it.
Great movie. All right. I know exactly. I'm going to say it's an 81 on Rotten Tomatoes. So
All right.
they got it right this time.
What's like a good score on Rotten Tomatoes?
Anything above 50.
as a good score.
I use it like as like a barometer of like, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. If it's down there and I like a movie, then I'm like,
that's how everyone uses it. Why are you using that like it's unique?
No. He uses it in a special way. You did say it again. man.
yeah, I
You
use it like a
it.
barometer. Dan. That's the end of the podcast. You're all leaving.
The Matt Anderson Rotten Tomatoes chart for reading. It's very unique.
Basically,
I didn't know what I didn't
Basically, I look at my grades. If it's a high score, I feel like I'm probably good at the class.
Sure.
If it's a low score, I'm probably bad in the class.
You're crazy. That's what I don't know where you get this stuff. No, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know if like does Titanic get a 65? Like, you know what I mean? What is like the best movies of all time get?
Oh,
They give out
right.
hundreds all the
They
time.
give it hundreds a lot.
Always.
March of the Penguins
Because
got
it's just
100?
like an aggregate. It's just like
Yeah,
what
Sure, it's
a bunch of
everyone
different.
can vote. Or
No, it's just like they just take like, oh, this
Yeah.
is what.
So this is based
the
on
New York-
54 reviews.
Right, so it'll be like the New York
okay.
Times. But then the thing with that shit is like they group in like Washington Post or New York Times with like some fucking guy's blog.
and
then
it's
it's
like, I have a movie blog.
Right, yeah. It's like, oh, 2 said it was good, 2 said it was bad. And it's like, yeah, some of these people are just like, idiots.
Yeah, well, those things are fake news. At least the blog
that's
we
fake
know
news.
is real.
The original fake
Washington-
news is Rotten Tomatoes.
It's kind of like the BCS standings a little bit. You know, the coaches vote
right,
on
yeah.
who's best.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
baseball, like the Hall of Fame. Like,
Right.
they never get unanimous because it's always like some guy who's just like a bowler or something for some reason gets to vote. You know what I mean? Just like a FedEx guy. And he's like, I don't know. They send me a ballot every year. I never really liked Ken Griffey. It's like, what?
I pick the cool names. I pick it by how much I like the names. I don't know that much about baseball. No, to me the movie has a very special place in my heart. As a kid, I watched it all the time with my best friend, and I have a terrible memory. But for some reason, these types of movies, well, I guess the reason is that I watched it like 100 times, but like it brings me back there and it makes me laugh again. And I still think it's funny, so
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you think this is this the funniest to you of his movies?
Jim Carrey movies?
I think that maybe at one point it was. I think when I was younger it was, but now I think I prefer I think Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, the second one.
The second one.
Has some really, really good moments that like I laugh at more now than I was a kid. That one was mostly me just remembering how much I liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
I think Ace Ventura is even funnier to me now for some reason.
Yeah, Ace Ventura is another one that it's like, man, imagine a single other person in the world, like
No
any other actor trying to do
can.
that.
Right.
You know, anyone from Goldie to
Robin Williams to Steve Martin.
it's like, whoa, we got Tony Shalhoub. You're like, what? All right,
Wait, who's Tony Shalhoub?
He's a monk.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He was in Men in
Sure,
Black.
That's right. We
What is
watched Men in Black.
I think it's some like regular,
Sure,
like
a regular
guy who's
comedic
good,
guy.
but
yeah.
like I don't know.
good, not great.
Yeah.
Take that, Shalhoub. Perlman's really giving it to you.
I was just picking a regular guy.
Oh,
Listen,
regular
Tony,
5
I like,
out of 10
I like
for
you.
the Perlman score.
I think he's great, but that movie wouldn't have been anything.
That's true. Very true. There's no way he could get his hair like Ace Ventura's hair.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about in terms of hair.
Think about it.
I was thinking there's nobody else
He
in
would
the
just
game
look like a regular
that could
guy.
have had Ace Ventura's mandated haircut.
He has to. Have you seen the cartoons?
They'd already drawn it.
That was
They
already
can't
out.
redraw that shit.
That's right.
They drew 2 things. Ace Ventura's hair and the Bob Hope genie thing.
They wear the same shirt, though. I think Ace Ventura and Bob Hope. I think they wear the same shirts. All right.
And then Ebert liked it.
Yeah, Roger Ebert. This is the first out of the Jim Carrey movies that he liked. He was quoted saying, he's like, I am gradually developing a suspicion or perhaps a fear that Jim Carrey is growing on me.
Yeah.
Because he didn't like him in Dumb and Dumber and Pet Detective.
Okay.
So
Man, I feel like Ebert's a real sucker.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like any of us could make something that like
Ebert would love.
that you could trick Ebert into liking.
Sure. Isn't that all the movies? Are you just manipulating emotion out of people? That's really all it is.
Yeah.
But he would be easy to manipulate.
if you can trick Ebert, you've
Just
got a
go on
movie.
some tangent about how
Yeah.
easy humans are.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, wow. 2 thumbs up, way up.
Yeah. We
What-
control your fucking thumbs, don't we, Ebert?
Take that, Ebert. We know
Yeah.
what makes your thumbs turn.
You are a mere puppet.
That's right.
And we are your masters.
What did when did Siskel? I'm sure I asked this on the last podcast.
When
but
did he
when
die?
did Siskel die?
Siskel died way sooner than Ebert. I think Siskel died in like 2010.
Wait,
No.
so Ebert
No,
was so
2004.
Siskel was alive when this movie came out? So what did Siskel say? We're only getting Ebert?
We're only
Siskel's-
getting half of the thumb.
Siskel's still alive? I thought,
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah.
I thought
You
he
ever
must have
see
been
the
dead.
YouTube video of them fighting?
No.
Oh my God, it's the funniest thing. You ever see that Siskel and Ebert
What is
fighting?
it? No.
It's just like so they have that like Siskel and Ebert at the movies. They're like just reviewing these movies, and they were showing them commercial break. They hated each other.
Really?
Yeah.
They hated each
That's
other.
what made the show so good.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
How did they get together? Did they like used
How do
to
you
like
spell
each other?
Siskel? Because
I mean,
I
they
keep
both-
spelling
they-
Cisco.
They were the only guys in the game that reviewed movies by
And
thumbs,
they're like,
so they just had to pair up. Yeah, exactly.
everything's 1 or 2. We need to go to 3 and 4.
It's like
We need to go from 0 and 4.
there was just fate once they.
This
did the
guy's not
thumb
using
thing.
stars.
Like, you ever hear that Greg Giraldo joke about Siegfried and Roy?
No.
He's like that he never believed in true love until he saw Siegfried and Roy. He's like, what are the odds a gay lion tamer meets and falls in love with another gay lion tamer? Talk about holding out for Mr. Right. And another gay lion.
That's great.
But no, it's called. They hate it. Those YouTube videos, they're just like bickering at each other, just sniping like every little thing. Like they're just like whatever. They just review movies, and then Siskel's like, nice job during that one, fat ass. Just like,
They're taking low blows. They're not even
totally. Like they're just being like like not even about anything specific. Like they just so clearly hate each
you
other.
suck. I hate you so much. I hate your face.
All right. So Siskel died in 1999.
He was alive to see Liar Liar. Lucky him.
Dying wish. All right, now let's see if you reviewed it. Liar, liar.
They had already stopped working together in 96 or 95?
What, Siskel and Ebert?
Yeah.
I think they worked together till his death.
Oh, so okay. So
They might have took some time off to cool down a little bit.
sure. Need space.
You gotta have space.
You gotta keep space involved.
Take a day off, see a movie.
I can't even watch movies anymore. All I can think about is Ebert.
They,
I know exactly
they
what
just
Ebert's going to say about this. I know what Ebert's going to say.
they go to the same movie theater.
I liked it.
What if they started reviewing YouTube videos? after
That'd be
movies?
great. The downfall of Siskel and Ebert. They're just reviewing smaller and smaller shit.
When he bit that English boy, bit his younger brother's finger. There's 2 fingers way up. Okay, I'm done.
The YouTube starts doing the thumb thing. They're like, "Hey, can we get in on?" They're like, "Nah, it's just out there now."
It's over.
The reviews would be longer than the videos, Zach.
That's true.
So, what did Jim Carrey ever publicly comment on this movie, or privately?
Ooh.
He told me something off the record, and
Yeah.
I'm not exactly allowed to say.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No. I did though just read that he thought Tommy Lee Jones didn't like him in Batman.
I was just when I said Tony Shalhoub earlier. You remember that?
Yeah.
I was originally going to say Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
That
a
would have been
funny
a good
guy.
poll.
It just kind of comes all around.
From his work in U.S. Marshals, or why do you think of him as a funny guy?
Yeah, Men in Black.
Oh, Man in Black.
The Fugitive.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wasn't funny in The Fugitive.
Men in
Well,
Black.
humor's subjective.
Humor's sure, that's true. He was Two-Face in the Batman. That's right, in Batman Forever. That was the main Batman movie I watched growing up too. Was Batman Forever?
I think that's the one I watched as well. Yeah.
I could see how someone would be annoyed with Jim Carrey. I could see that. I'm not, but I could see how somebody would be.
Yeah, of course. Well, he's a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you're watching that movie. You're like, man, I really wanted to get to know the other lawyer. Like, what do you care?
More about the secretary.
Yeah.
Why is she still working? She's so old. Somebody help her.
Yeah. I love how it ended on the other person's laugh about him, like a rib at him.
Yeah. That blooper meant a lot to you. I barely noticed.
So
that.
good.
That's the second time you
So
worked that in.
I really did. All right. Well, let's wrap up, guys. Do you guys want to say anything to the listening audience? Perhaps, Dan, do you want to plug your?
Yeah, I don't know. Check out Jim Carrey online. And Flatbush Misdemeanors is the name of something I made. I don't know if you type it in online, you can see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Flip. Shout out to my mom.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
a
what's
great
her name?
lady. Christina. She's great. My mom and my dad, Jeff, my family.
Nuclear family?
Nuclear. Yeah, very
Oh,
nuclear.
that's great.
Two
That's
two
great.
parents, 3 kids.
Share the love.
We I got shows and stuff coming up. You can look up on my Twitter or Facebook at Duncan Swan on Twitter, Zach Swan on Facebook.
Because
That's
I
probably
believe
that's
you
all.
will buy booze with it. I just want to get from my car to the office without being confronted by the decay of Western society. Plus, I'm cheap. Jerk off!